planetary vendors, and I don't know how I died, but when I was in here, but okay. And why they need to change. Okay, so if you go over to failsafe, I'm not sure if this is like this for all of them. You'll see that there's, well, I'm rank 11, so there's really no point to be over there. And then you look down here, there's a sunsetted item. Like, what is this? Like, am I just seeing stuff here? Like, who would want an out of options that's sunset with year one rolls? Literally, this is a year one roll. Year one. This is what you would see in year one of D2. Literally around the Masterwork era, around Season of the Warmind. This is something you'd see around Curse of Cyrus Warmind, something around there. This is like, and it's the same at every. I'm gonna assume it's the same at every single planet. So we're gonna go ahead. I already grabbed the bounties. I'm bounty prepping, as you probably can know, and that's the only reason why I found this, right? But if you go to like somewhere like the EDZ, another very old destination, and it seems like the locations that are very old, they haven't really updated. Europa, you don't see any of that. They're updated to the current stuff, right? That has current like gear that you can, that's not sunsetted. And then this just gave me the idea. What if they were to overhaul planetary vendors themselves and actually make a loot table with specific perks for each planet, right? Now think about that. Now you have each planet, you can only find those perks on that planet, that armor set on that planet, and they can make unique ornaments for that, for ranking up, for getting the max rank for a season. And since they have, you know, Activision backing them now, there's no reason why they can't do that. And I guarantee you, if I go in here, he's gonna have a sunset weapon somewhere. Yep, there it is, sunset. Minimum distance, sunset. This is something that you'd see. This is kind of unacceptable for being season 18 now. Oh, no, season whatever. What season are we in? I forget sometimes. I'm old. Season 17. Always one season off. Right? Like, this is kind of unacceptable in what's supposed to be a AAA title. And these roles are awful. Like, so you have the Wildwood set. See. I want you to imagine for a second. So you change up here. You have up here. You have the rank rewards, just like you do, like around here, like at Banshee, right? You have the rank rewards for each rank. You have an ascended shard, or not an ascended shard, a masterwork weapon with unique perks, right? That don't really roll on that weapon, right? A unique masterworked weapon, right? Up here, right? For the reset reward. And every other reward after it also has a reset reward with unique perks as well. So incentivizes, resetting your rank. Incentivizes you to get to that reset rank. Because right now there's no point for me to waste my materials on this at all. Like, no. Just no. That ain't gonna happen. So each planet would have a unique loot table and unique armor rolls, unique perk combinations that you can only get on those weapons per that planet. So Europa could have some icy themed ornaments. The moon could have some lunar themed ornaments. The throne world could have some Lucian hive themed ornaments. And then Zer's Eternity, I'm not sure if it's staying, would have some, I don't know, spatial themed ornaments. Nessus would have some Vex themed ornaments. The Dreaming City would have some Dreaming City themed ornaments. Cosmodrome, the same thing, would have uh, Cosmodrome themed ornaments to Old Russia. So it could be have to do Old Russia usually has to do with the space program and stuff like that, or it could be the environment, right? EDZ could have some like camouflage sort of like wildland themed ornaments for the armor to incentivize people to continue the grind, and also with specific weapons. Now that's a lot, right? It's a lot on the table. They'd have to go through and reset each planet and to where it rotates each season. So each season you could say 5 resets, right? Has 5 specific weapons per each planet that are completely unique that you can only find on each planet, right? They have a role that you can't get anywhere else. Kind of like it brings back a uniqueness and it's something you can earn. And some of them could be really, really good. I don't know. It depends on Crucible and the meta of the time, what kind of sort of archetype they are, what perk combinations they are, and they could have some. This could also be a way to introduce mods and incentivize each planet, because right now, as of right now, if this doesn't change, the only reason to get on each week is for the daily story. There's no reason to come to these end of the planets. You need more than just public events to keep people coming to these planets, right? Because they're not. As an end game player, what I'm gonna go into is this right here. That's where I'm gonna be, either in a raid or in Crucible or in a dungeon. I have no need. I could never go on these planets except when they first come out, spend a little time, and never go there again. And there it is. It's a huge waste of space and waste of resources in Destiny for planets and planetary vendors to not have these sort of current events that keep people coming back, right, to these various locations that Bungie has worked very hard on. There's a lot of work and effort that goes into this, and it's a huge waste of space for all of this, for a huge map to be wasted when there's absolutely no point for anybody coming to Devon King. There's literally no point. He is a useless vendor. Like, there's no story, there's no, like, sort of, like, I don't know, seasonal quest that takes you into new and different areas of the EDZ. You have maybe fluctuations, current events. You have the current story spilling into other locations. So there's like when the pyramid ships first arrived in Season of the Arrivals, they arrived on every single planet, and every single vendor had this sort of like different reaction to there's a current event that was taking place on the planets that tied the story into each of the planets, and it wasn't like a waste of space. There was one on Mercury when before it was disappeared. There's one on Mars, etc. Now, sure, it's a lot of work, but it needs to change, because as of right now, the only place that you really need to go to the tower is the tower, the helm. Hold on. The only places that you need to go are right here. That's it. There is no point to go anywhere else outside of Grab a Bounty towards the end of the season and do this, which is a huge problem in Destiny 2. That is a huge problem. It is a glaring issue because, well, for one, there shouldn't be sunsetted items as a reward option. And two, look at this space. There's a lot of like memories here, like people coming in when first loading on the game, and they come in here, and Devon Kane was a part of the story. It's just Bungie is doing a terrible job of tying the characters and the planets to the current story in Destiny 2, and I don't know what's going to change for that, like all the planets to be affected by that. But as of right now, there is no point to go to any other planets, any other locations, except for the major ones right here in this sort of upside down pyramid triangle sort of thing. In this center part of the destination screen, there's no point to go to any other planets outside of you want to. Because as of right now, these two locations seem to have sunsetted armor rolls, and it's just a glaring issue. Like, they need to update the locations to the current story that is currently happening, like with Leviathan coming back. There's nightmares on the moon, so that's changed. So that should be changing the destination, right? The Leviathan's right here, so there should be story and events and stuff that happened over here, but there's not. It's just the same old boring. Okay, there's Sorrow's Harbor, there's the Nightmare Hunts, there's the campaign if you want to play that again. There's no current event, because when you go over here, it's located on the Leviathan. Sure, the seasonal story is located on Leviathan, but the Leviathan is a gigantic ship, and it's right next to the moon. So there's nothing on the moon that changes. There's no like unique sort of wave of like nightmares that flush across the moon. Because you'd think with the pyramid becoming active, with Talos's mind being connected to somewhere on the moon, there's a pyramid ship, and there's no flush of activity. There's nothing. It's just a dead space, and it's a wasted space. So I don't know what's going to take for a change, but it really needs to change. The locations, all these planets that Bungie has worked so hard on, and locations are currently wasted space in Destiny 2. They're literally taking up space in the game for nothing. Literally, what they could do is each season have a location, one location on the entire map where the current season story is, and that would probably save a whole lot more space than having all this extra stuff that's just not useful. There's no current events, there's no current activities, there's no revamped activities each season for each planet. It is super, super dry. With the exception of the massive DLC that is released once a year, seasonal activities on each location do not exist, and creates a very dry atmosphere, and people stop playing the game because of that. They could count all the players they want to, but the fact of the matter is, even new lights don't really have a really great way of interacting with the current story. They could create a super campaign that takes them from the Red War through Curse of Osiris. They could take them through each season, develop a campaign for each season. You go to Triumphs here, and let's go to collections. Let's go to collections, and let's go to equipment, for example. Each season, for example, you had events that happened. The Red War happened here. They could have a campaign tailored for each season to update the player on what's happened in Destiny 2. A unique short campaign. Sure, it would take the better part of a week to complete for new lights, but it would be a way to introduce them into the game so they're not just thrown into it, because this is a really crappy system for a new light to come into, period. That is it for my ideas. You can hit the like and subscribe button for more Destiny content. This really needs to change because it's a glaring issue. I really don't see why this is a thing. Now, these people here are probably only here for bounties. I'm gonna be honest. That's the only reason why they're here, is to do this. There is no other purpose to be here outside of get bounties and do this. which is a huge letdown to Bungie and the work they did. So, Bungie, if you see this, go ahead and upvote this video, get more views, etc. Please update your current public event. Planetary vendors and the spaces to have seasonal events that happen on each planet, which is a lot of work, but they have Activision supporting them now. So there's no reason why they shouldn't have. Anyway, that's all for the video. That's all, folks.